I know what you're thinking, lads. Football is winding down. Most of it's done for the season. So what are we gonna do now? That's right, drink excessively. But you can still involve football. Why not go to a pub quiz and amaze your friends with some of the most useless football information you could possibly need? Get ready for 10 minutes of purely pointless footballing information.
Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you want me to do this again.
Back in 1967, Wolves won the MLS. Now I know what you're thinking. Premier League side, how did they win the American Premier League division? Well, back in the 60s, Wolves, Stoke and Sunderland played domestic football in the US because the newly formed US Association lifted actual Premier League teams and just placed them into America. Wolves, Stoke City and Sunderland became LA Wolves, Cleveland Stokers and Vancouver Royals. And Wolves won the one and only season this happened. There's two names that come to mind when we spark the GOAT debate. Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. But the age difference between them is really interesting. Cristiano Ronaldo is 869 days older than Leo, which incredibly is the same exact amount of days that Cristiano Ronaldo Jr. is older than Leo's son, Thiago. Bringing celery to Chelsea matches gets you a lifetime ban from the stadium.
Fuck Chelsea. Chelsea shit. Pussy or what? Say something.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, this is one of the more outlandish ones in this video. I don't actually know the chant in question, but it became popular at the stadium in the 2000s, and fans decided to just start throwing sticks of celery onto the pitch. It got so bad that referees were frustrated and celery itself had to be banned from Stamford Bridge. The Albanian national team once got arrested at Heathrow Airport because they thought duty-free meant that things inside the shop were entirely free. It was a breakdown in communication, a language barrier if you will. This back in 1990 after they played in England. Upon explanation to the police and them realizing they just didn't understand what duty-free meant, they were thankfully released. Back in 2002, a Swedish third division striker was traded between sides called Vindbjart and Floey in exchange for his weight in shrimps. This is ridiculous. I love this video.
What is going on here?
Yeah, forget about actual money changing hands. Kenneth Christensen was apparently only worth his weight in shrimps, and some cocktail sauce was even thrown in as well, just to really sweeten the deal. Kingsley Coman has won the league in every single season he's been a senior footballer. This man, of course, started his career at PSG and upon signing a professional contract and making his debut, won the league in his first 2 seasons. Then went to Juventus and won the league every season there, and has since been playing for Bayern Munich, who of course won the league thanks to a Borussia Dortmund bottle this weekend to cement that record even further. Back when Troy Deeney scored his famous goal for Watford in the playoffs in the Championship against Leicester,
Here's Hogg.
there were some big names sat on the bench for the Foxes that day. Both Harry Kane and Jamie Vardy, who went on to score a combined 62 goals for England, were sat amongst the substitutes for Leicester. Maybe they should have brought them on. John Obi Mikel's real name is actually John Michael. Yeah, back when he was playing in the youth setup in Nigeria, a spelling mistake led to the Nigerian Football Association writing his name as John Mikel instead. So it was never really his name, but he just liked the ring to it, so he decided to let it land and let it stick for his entire footballing career. Gareth Bale was another product of Southampton's famed academy, the likes of which that's seen Theo Walcott, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and multiple others pass through and go on to great things. But Southampton saw the Welshman's potential and inserted a 25% sell-on clause into his move to Tottenham. They then decided to sell on that clause for a few extra pounds 1 year before he joined Real Madrid for 80 million. Back whilst in his playing days for Bayern Munich, Philipp Lahm went over a year without giving away a foul. Very impressive stuff for a man playing as a defender, as a wing-back no less as well. The German managed to go a full 13 months without giving away a free kick. New Zealand were the only unbeaten team at the World Cup of 2010, despite going out in the group stages. The problem is, they didn't win a game either. After drawing all 3 of their group stage matches and ended up on 3 points, that unfortunately wasn't enough for them to get into the knockouts. But crazily, they did something that Spain, the eventual winners, couldn't do, and that was stay unbeaten after the Spaniards lost 1-0 to Switzerland in the groups. Sunderland have broken the world record transfer fee more times than PSG.
Hold on. No, I'm not having this. I'm not having this.
No.
Romelu Lukaku was famously ridiculed for only touching the ball 7/8 times terms against Crystal Palace, but it could be worse from Zimbabwean footballer Thomas Langusweswe. What a name, by the way. Once managed to go an entire 90-minute football match without touching the ball. 3 Chelsea goalkeepers managed to get a clean sheet in the same game. Back in 2014, and Chelsea played up against Atletico Madrid. Now, at the time, Petr Cech was the man in between the sticks for the Blues, but he got injured in the 18th minute, and so Mark Schwarzer, the backup, had to come on and replace him. But for Atletico Madrid and on loan Chelsea goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois was playing, the game ended 0-0, and all of the goalkeepers were credited with a clean sheet. Back in the late 90s, Brunei, or Brunei Darussalam, a small but extremely affluent nation in Asia, used to play domestic football instead of international. Yet clearly they didn't fancy themselves against other countries, so took part in the Malaysian Cup and League divisions. I guess the Boxers' ancestors just didn't rate themselves that much. In 2003, Inter Milan were knocked out of the Champions League on away goals, despite all of those goals happening at home. Yeah, they played against AC Milan, who of course they ground share with at the San Siro, and managed to go out on away goals to Milan, despite the fact those goals were scored in their home stadium. In 1980, and the Copa del Rey final was fiercely contested between the same team, because Real Madrid played against their own reserve team in the final and won 6-1. I mean, you'd be a little bit concerned if Real Madrid lost to RM Castilla. Who's even the reserve team then? It feels like Crystal Palace boss Roy Hodgson's been involved in football since the dawn of time. Dinosaurs roamed the earth after he took his first managerial job.
Let's not take the piss here.
But even before being a football manager, he was actually a school teacher, teaching English and PE. I mean, we clearly went down the PE route. Over in the Chinese Super League, and at the end of last season, there were several players that were out because of COVID restrictions that are still going on in the nation, and so Hebei FC had to field 2 sets of twins. Both appeared on the bench in the form of Jia Zhideng and Jia Jundeng, and then Zhuan Yimeng and Zhuan Ru. Look, listen, green links everywhere. Chemistry for days. Back in the World Cup semi-final of 2014, Javier Mascherano admitted to tearing his arse whilst making a match-saving challenge on Iron Robben. The shit these footballers do to win. Well, I mean, it was probably quite a bad shit after, really. Theo Walcott has more Champions League goals than R9 Ronaldo, Zinedine Zidane, Miroslav Klose, and David Villa. Heritage. Now, usually, if you win the second division, your prize is promotion to the top flight, wherever you are playing. Unless, of course, there is no promotion or relegation. Unless you're America. But that wasn't the case for a side called Widzew Łódź in Poland, who back in 2007-08 got promoted as their division's champions, but then were immediately relegated for being part of a match-fixing scandal, and then decided to go and win the second division again in 08-09, making them back-to-back champions. A team once upon a time scored an own goal to help them progress to the next round of a competition. You may have heard this one before, but for those who haven't, back in a 1994 Caribbean Cup, Barbados needed to win their final game by 2 goals to qualify. Now, interestingly, there was a rule in this competition where if you scored in extra time, that goal would be worth double in a final 30 minutes. If they only won by 1, their opponents, Granada, would go through. So instead, they decided to score an own goal, make the game level, go to extra time, and try and score in that 30-minute period because 1 goal would mean double. Incredibly, it worked. They scored in extra time, got the 2-goal advantage they needed, and progressed to the next round. And finally, in the Netherlands, Feyenoord goalkeeper Ronald Grafland had to wait 18 years to make his senior debut for the club. After signing for them as a youngster, he joined the club and never played for 18 years, only to come on at the start of the 2010s and concede within 15 minutes as a substitute. Was it really worth the wait? Now, I, for one, feel truly enlightened after the information that has been put out into the universe here. I hope you lot do as well. If you do win a pub quiz with the information in today's video, I would like sole credits. Thank you very much. If you want this again, let me know down in the comment section. Slap a like on the video if you enjoyed, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. It's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.